Hi everyone, and welcome along to I should call it the tea show, because Hot Sauce is not here. Orlando is not feeling his best today. So for those of you who aren't aware, I think we decided that I was the tea and he was the hot sauce. So we're missing the hot sauce for today. But let's see how we get on. I'm going to go through a little bit of market analysis with you guys. So let me just grab the screen and let's get going. A continuation on some of the things that we were discussing yesterday. So I was having a bit of a complaint yesterday about the fact that there seems to be some sluggishness in the currency trends at the moment. We've seen some spectacular trends of late in the currencies. So let me just get up. I'll get up Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, I mean, we have seen some really, really, really nice trends throughout May. A really nice strong uptrend there, and throughout July as well, really nice strong uptrend there. Plenty of long opportunities. In fact, this has been trending up since March. So plenty of trending opportunities basically for the last kind of 5 or so months. However, right now we can see it does look a little bit more sluggish. That doesn't mean the trend's over. It just means that we have to be a little bit more cautious, perhaps reduce the risk down on what we're trading. You can see that I'm still trading this to the upside because the trend is still long. But I have reduced my risk down as I've been moving up. So I've got a couple of positions open, which are both scaled out of, therefore profit is banked. The stop loss is well into profit on both of those trades. Therefore, the trade that I entered yesterday, or this morning for some of you, does not over risk me. It doesn't add to my overall risk on Aussie dollar, and still, in fact, I'm still risk free pretty much. I only entered it at a small percentage position. I will be looking for opportunities to scale into this still on the lower time frames if they do arise. The time frame that I am most interested in at the moment is the 15-minute time frame. But I was just saying over on my other show for my income creator traders, I was just saying that what I didn't want to happen was I didn't want to see this, and this is exactly what's happened. I didn't want to see this same high formed here. I really wanted to see price break through that level and then come down and retrace. The fact that we've got the same high here does put me off somewhat taking a long trade directly into what looks like could be forming a level of resistance. So I'm going to keep on monitoring the price action on Aussie dollar, not necessarily desperate to jump in. I am taking trades where I see obvious setups, but I'm definitely not chasing the market here. There are plenty of other things to look at. So the other thing that I pointed out yesterday, I think, was Singapore dollar. Singapore dollar, I'm also bearish on. Now, the trend is down. This is the daily time frame I'm looking at here. The trend is down. My roadmap, the areas that, or the levels that I'm trading between, you can see I've got on my chart here. So I am trading between this level of resistance just here. It has been resistance from all the way back in 2018. It's been resistance in 2019. It has been resistance again in 2019 there. It's been support over here. It's been support here in 2020. So that is a level that has been broken through, and we're well and truly beneath that level. My next major level of support is here. I've got resistance from 2018, support from 2019, support from 2020. So that is my next major level. I would love to see price, let me just get things a little bit more central. I would love to see price in this downtrend reach this level at the bottom. If that were to happen, then there could be potential daily trading opportunities. There certainly could be potential intraday trading opportunities all the way down to this level. So that's the level I'm focused on. Having said that, there are other things that will prevent me from trading all the way down to that level. I'm not ruling out the fact that price could easily turn around slightly beforehand. But I'm going to, my plan with Singapore dollar is I'm going to be looking for trades down to that level if possible. That's really where my roadmap is taking me at the moment. So with that said, it's just going to be a case of finding the correct trading opportunity. And that will depend on what time frame you're interested in trading in. It will depend on the continued trend. We can see here, this is the hourly time frame, for example, and I can see that we have lower highs and lower lows down here. Looks to me like potentially price could come back up, retrace, form another lower high, and then potentially move back down again. So that's all I need to wait for. That's what I'm sitting patiently and waiting for. Those of you who were listening in yesterday at me talking about Singapore dollar hopefully would have been able to catch short trades earlier on today and would already have be in profit or have taken profit on those. So those are a couple of currency pairs that I'm keen on still continuing to look for trending trades on. I want to touch on gold very briefly as well. The reason I want to touch on gold is because the trend for me on gold is no longer intact. Let me just get rid of these levels here. So even without looking at any horizontal levels, just looking at price action, in fact, I could just get it up here on a clean chart. No need for anything else.
I like clean charts, Chloe. I like to just take the stuff off the charts occasionally and just have a look at it without all the indicators. Look, I don't mind using indicators for direction and that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's really nice just to look at a chart and go, what do I think this chart's trying to tell me, right?
Yeah, and sometimes, Paul, you can get so blinded by all the lines on your chart. And sometimes you just put a clean chart up and think, how come I didn't see that before? It becomes so obvious almost if you're just looking at a clean chart. So yeah, I really like to do my market analysis at the beginning of the week on completely clean charts. I like to have no moving averages, no indicators, no anything. I just like to have price action. I just want to look at chart patterns and candlesticks and horizontal levels. So very often, more often than not, I do my analysis at the beginning of the week on clean charts. But I just wanted to point out gold because I know we were talking about gold last week. And I know, Paul, you were kind of in agreement with me at the time. We were looking at this move to the upside and wondering if there was a potential for price to actually continue upwards. And I did say at the time, I'm expecting probably a lower high will form, but until that lower high does form, it is my duty to trade with the trend, which at that time was long. The thing about gold now is that is definitely a lower high. There is no doubt about that. So there's definitely a lower high there. That definitely puts the brakes on the uptrend. Not saying that the uptrend won't resume at some point, but right now, I am no longer looking for long opportunities on gold. And in fact, it is looking pretty bearish right now. So certainly not with a long-term view, but with a short-term view, there is actually the potential that could come down further and there could be short opportunities there. It's unlikely that I will be trading those short opportunities, because with the way I trade in my strategy, I'm really looking for high reward to risk and high probability. And right now, yes, I see a lower high, but I don't see a lower low yet. So I don't have an established downtrend. If I don't have an established downtrend, then yes, I could make money trading short, but it would not be high probability trading for me.
Do you think there's a triangle here? Do you think there's a descending triangle here?
It looks that way, doesn't it, Paul?
The base is a bit messy. I think, you know.
Messy, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a look. Might be clear on a 4 hour. I don't know, but it just looks to me like, you know, you're saying that this does look quite bearish, and I've got to say I think it looks quite bearish as well, and it just has that sort of triangular shape to it, and you know you're really looking here for a bit of a blowout at the bottom of the triangle, and then a retest, and a chance to really get short, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my point really was that yes, it looks bearish, and this might go down. And it might go down all the way to here, and then I'll be kicking myself that I didn't get in up here. However, we do still have strong support at this level. I think that's around about where the monthly pivot sits for this month. That's going to be moving in a few days' time. But in terms of probability, there are things in the way of this getting down past here. And that's really my problem. Yes, I think that price probably could go down from here, but I don't know how far it's going to go down, and therefore I can't calculate whether my reward to risk is going to be worth taking that risk or not. That's for my trading strategy. So, you know, I prefer to sit out of this until I see something clearer, until I've got a clearer roadmap. Like I was showing you on the Singapore dollar, there's a clear roadmap. If I can get into that, then I've got a clear idea of what my potential reward to risk could be on that trade and the probability of it getting down to there. So yeah, it's interesting on gold because I know a lot of people are still trading it, but I'm just happy to sit out and be patient and wait for things to develop a bit more.
I don't know how much you take on the fundamentals, but trading gold the day before Jackson Hole after that move is, you know, Jackson Hole is pretty big news, and we are seeing, you know, world finance leaders getting together to talk about what we're going to do for the planet at the moment. Quite often, Jackson Hole, you know, appears to me to be a little more than a talk fest, but these guys have actually got some work to do in this event. I expect them to make some pretty important decisions and to start leaking them, which is the part of the Jackson Hole thing is they talk to the media during the event and they give some heads up on what they're looking at. And, you know, I think that, you know, gold, oil, for mine, they're a bit of a lottery this week because Jackson Hole is going to turn up and I think it is going to move the market one way or the other. And, you know, we're not going to get any, you know, you may guess and get it right. You may guess and get it wrong, but you'll be guessing, you know, these guys are going to move it, I think.
Absolutely, Paul. And as you say, you may guess and get it right, and you could make a decent profit on that. But becoming a consistently profitable trader is not about guessing and having a bit of luck on your side. Becoming consistently profitable is about doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and still being able to make money from that.
Yeah, look, I think that's a really good point you make, Chloe. One of the things that I think is, you know, people say all the time what they want is consistency, and the answer to that is exactly what you're saying, right? The answer to consistency is to act consistently, and as long as you're acting incredibly inconsistently, it's really hard to believe that consistency is coming your way in results. And excuse me, it's a bit late in New Zealand. Yeah, well, yeah, and as you say, you know, if you're just going to guess on direction, then sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose, and that is not how we get consistent results. So I guess Jackson Hole's Friday, Saturday. So we've still got a day. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking Friday morning as well. Boy, it's an interesting day. Interesting. So Friday, Saturday, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaks. Bank of Canada Governor McCalm speaks, Jackson Hole Symposium, Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks, Jackson Hole Symposium. Boy, that's going to be interesting into the week. And what it does mean as well is that, you know, if you've got open positions, you really are, Please, guys, do excuse the yawns. It's just on midnight in New Zealand. I normally work a bit later than this, but I had a bit of a short sleep night last night. You've got a real chance of gapping this weekend. You've got a real chance of getting in the positions either way and just being lucky or unlucky. And that's just, you can't make a living and pay your bills based on being lucky or unlucky. As you say, Chloe, you've got to get consistent and get things right. Chloe, you're saying the Singapore dollar looks pretty clear.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, Paul. I wouldn't go so far as saying clear, because I think with the currencies at the moment, there are a lot of ifs and buts, and there is a lot of sluggishness in these currency markets. But what I was looking at was my little roadmap that I've got here. We're past this level of what was potential support. Yep. And we're kind of halfway down to my next strong level of support down here. So I'm still looking with a bearish view on this. I'm cautious because of last week's low test bar, but because we've got a downtrend leading into it, and that low test bar is not at a strong horizontal level for me, I am willing to still continue trading down. So my roadmap goes down to the bottom here, which means that potentially there are some high reward to risk trades down there. And I would say I'm looking on the kind of medium to lower time frames, anything from 4 hourly downwards. Basically, I'm looking for entry opportunities there. So that's one of the currency pairs that is still trending, that I am still looking for opportunities on. And then what I wanted to move on to, Paul, and I don't know if you've got any opinions here as well. I was just mentioning that the currencies have seen some spectacular trends in the last couple of months, but they are looking pretty sluggish. I think most of them are looking pretty sluggish at the moment. And when that happens, it's for me always a reminder not to forget about other things that are available to trade. Because if you have a strategy that works on just Forex, then obviously you have to stick to Forex. But if you have a strategy like Income Creator, for example, that works on other things such as commodities and indices and even stocks, then just don't forget that those are available. So if you find yourself frustrated in the market without seeing clear trends, the worst thing you can do is try and find trades to get into. The best thing you can do is just have a look for something else. And this is where I think the indices, I'm just going to put the NASDAQ up. In fact, I'm going to put it on a clean chart. It's just incredible what's happening here. It's just, I never expected it. There were the previous highs from all the way back in February. We smashed through, we've continued with the uptrend, and there is nothing here suggesting that this is turning around. Fundamentally, yes, at some point, this has to turn around, but we don't know when that's going to be. There is no horizontal resistance up here because
tell you what, Monday will be interesting for it. Interesting
Absolutely,
time coming up, isn't it? We got sorry, Chloe, after you.
No, yeah, Paul, you're quite right. Monday will be interesting.
Monday's the Tesla share split and the Apple share split, isn't it?
I believe it is, yes.
So we're going to have the Jackson Hole stuff Friday, Saturday. Monday's the last day of the month, and we've got the Tesla share split coming in. So we'll be interested to see what happens to the NASDAQ on that and see if we do get a bit of a bounce around it. And as you say, Chloe, to be fair to it, there are little retracements the whole way up. One thing that really, if you're new to Forex trading and you're watching this show, have a look at that higher low retesting the previous high. What a great place to trade. You know, that's what textbook trading charts look like, right? You know, you get a level, you know, it comes back, drops below it, comes back, tests it again, gives you a higher low, and just explodes away to the upside again. And look, it does it further up as well, where it puts in like a little double top, and then it comes back and tests that again. Yeah, beautiful trading stuff there. You know, it's one of the things when you can go through charts and see them as technical as this. I don't trade the NASDAQ. I trade the S&P. But you know, when you look at charts like this, one thing you do think is, gosh, I wouldn't mind trading that. I think if you go through these charts, there's plenty of these places. There's one just below as well. There's a couple just below as well, actually. They just look beautiful beautiful retested levels, and it just reminds you just how good technical stuff is to do and to trust. That's just, what do you want? That top one there, you get a retest of a level, train tracks reversal, and bang, off she goes. That's just beautiful trading, right? It should be in that.
It is, yeah. And there's no need to struggle. There's when you get charts like this, there's no need to struggle with your trading. Just take the trade. If you were to be a trend trader, just trading this one chart for the last 5 months, there's no way that I don't think there's any way you could possibly come out at the end of the day without having made a profit, unless you are acting inconsistently.
Yeah, look, I think that's really fair.
And what I was saying as well, Paul, is there is no horizontal resistance up here because price has never been this high before. We've just never seen price this high. Therefore, there is no horizontal resistance. The only thing that we can perhaps take as an indication of where to take profit, perhaps, or where to be a little bit more cautious, is as price approaches round numbers.
Look, the other thing
11,000, 12,000, etc.
The other thing you could do on this, Chloe, is look at the retracements and do fib extensions off them.
Absolutely.
That's what the banks do up there. That is interesting stuff. I haven't done that on this. I haven't done this again. I say I don't trade the Nasdaq, and most of the others are only just pushing into clean air. But when you're in clean air, it would be really interesting to have a look at this from a fib. You've got to set it up. It takes a while, but I do think that fib extensions are really useful in these kind of conditions. A bit more advanced. Again, if you don't know what a fib extension is, we all talk about fib retracements. But one of the things we know, one of the things I learned in the trading floor in London, actually, Chloe, is that banks tend to use fib extensions a lot for targets, which surprised me. I really was surprised. I'm not a big fib guy. It's one of the reasons we have guys like Trader Andrew come and do some work with our people, is because, it'd be interesting to have a look at this. Because they use different tools, and none of us can use all the tools. And look, there's some tools that I can't make work, and other people can make them work really well. And there's some tools I can make work that other people really struggle with. It's just the way it is. And it'd be interesting to see how it would go.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Jeff earlier on as well, Paul, about how yes, we do have a lot of tools at our disposal, but it's not necessarily for us to be an expert at all of those, or not be an expert, but for us to use all of those. It would be impossible for me to use in my strategy fibs and Bollinger Bands and moving averages and pivots. That it would just make it would make for a very, very messy chart and a messy mind, I think. But if you have all of those tools in your toolbox, then when the right time comes along, perhaps you might decide that that's what you want to focus in on and include in your trading plan.
Yeah, I think that's really true, Chloe. And I think with that kind of thing, what you want to do is have your one or two tools which you are an expert at. When you have your way, where you find your way, I find the way that people, when you talk to the Julians and the Ashes, they've got this little way that that they use RSI, or they've got some other indicator, and I go, oh, that indicator's just pop, and then you find out the way they use it, and you go, oh, that's pretty clever. That could work like that, and I think it's really important to be a master of one or two, to really do your work on one or two. Now, definitely. With interesting with fib extensions, Chloe, depends how you use them as well. But I've just put the fib extension tool. I've just measured the retracement, the last retracement up to the it gives you a interesting. Actually, can I share screen for a second?
Yeah, of course you can. Go ahead.
Let me look. I've never used Zoom meetings before. I'm a Zoom webinar dude. I know I own the company and it's my Zoom, but I don't use it very often. But let me see if I can show you guys this just for a little bit of interest. Now, where am I? Fusion. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Okay, so what I've done here is I've measured from the top of the candle to the bottom of the candle, and what I've done is I've put on the 1.618 and the 2.618 fib extension, And if you measure this retracement here, from the top of the candle to the bottom of the candle, that's your target there for the next move up. Not bad, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty good, that, isn't it?
And what it also tells you is your extended target is right there. That's the 2.618, which suggests to me that fib traders believe at least that we're at around some level of support or resistance at this stage.
Yeah, it looks really good, Paul. And I have to admit, I don't actually use fib extensions. In fact, I don't use fib retracements very much in my trading either.
Look, I'm the same, Chloe. I don't use them much at all. The only time I'd use them is this, when I'm at an all-time high for target setting. I find fib extensions for target setting in these kind of circumstances really good. This is what experience is, isn't it? You know, you find your different tool for different circumstances. And you know, I literally had to come and put the numbers on the fib extension. It's been so long since I've used it, but now we're in these kind of territories. It is more interesting. Let me try one more. Right? Let's see how we go here. Let's see what happened off this retracement here. Not quite so sharp there, but let me see if I just pull it back to, I don't mind using fibs off tops and bottoms. Yeah, look at that. I'll take the other one away again for a second here. Let me get rid of that because it gets a bit confusing to have a look at. Oh, took them both away. Just using the body of the candle. And look at that for target one. Not bad. You know, there was a little pullback there, and that's not bad either for a target there. So my suggestion is, as we're getting up to these levels, we are seeing fib traders. And again, if I was going to use fibs, one thing about it, right? If you give me a line on a chart, I can find a fib retracement that hits it. It's non-stop. Well, look at that.
Yeah.
That is not bad, right? But I would rather use fib extension tools than fib retracement tools. And that is, you know, literally, there's the retracement, body to body. There's your target one. There's your target two. You know, can't complain at that. Not bad at all.
And Paul, there's just a question here. What are those target one and target two numbers, the fib numbers?
It's 1.618 and 2.618. So when you're using fibs, 618 is the big number, and it's just 1. And I tell you what, I think if you put in here, just for fun, let's just for fun, let's find me a little. I'll double click on the dotty here, and go in. We'll go into Fibbo properties. And we'll come down here, and we've just added 1.618 and 2.618. And what we'll do now is I'll add 3.618, and I'll call it, because I'm really creative, 3.618, and I'll put that on there as well. And didn't work out quite so well for me, but yeah. So again, guys, look, I think fib extensions are an interesting tool, and literally, one of the things we try not to do is, this is one of the reasons we're doing with Andrew, because Andrew does use these tools, and you know, it's good to have different guys in our organization that do different things. And I'm the same as you, Chloe. You know, honestly, if you find me a line on a chart, I'll put a fib retracement through it. There's always one, right? There's just always a way you can get, you know. So all fibs do for me is confirm what I think I'm going to do anyway. And honestly, at this point, I'm a bit over it, you know. But the extensions are different. I find the extensions quite useful, and it's one of the things. One of the guys in the trading floor in London had a brother who worked on the bank floor, and every now and again they would send us a couple of their trades to have a look at, and every time the target was a fib extension, which interested me, you know, because to be honest, I'm not a big fan. It's not that I don't believe in fibs. I just believe that, you know, give me a horizontal level over a fib any day of the week.
Absolutely, yeah. I think those are my priorities as well.
They're not bad, you know. But yeah, look, it's one of those things, Chloe. You know, I'm, you know, we've all got our, as you said, right? Everyone's got to find something that they master, that they're really good at. And you just want a bit of general knowledge about this kind of stuff. It's nice to come on the show and see a different chart and have something a bit different to show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And with that being said, I believe that we have just been joined by Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, Chloe, I'm going well. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Twice in one day. We are having a good day today.
We're going to say
G'day, mate.
people are going to start to talk, Chloe. Hello, PB.
How you doing, man?
Mate, top of the world. As I said, I think this morning, although I'm more closer to the bottom of it, I feel fairly good.
Mate, I'm having a great time. Every time I do a sharing session with new people at the moment, I put a picture of you up when we're talking about different stuff. And I call you the granddad of the company. And I know how much the team would just find that hilarious.
I think that's going to be a brand I'm going to find hard to shake, frankly. But, I guess it is what it is.
Could be worse. Mate, what's coming up in your show?
Mate, you'd be very pleased to know that Ash will be joining me in about, 15 minutes or so, not even that. And look, I've got to say it's a little bit boring until the US session opens because we're in a little bit of a holding pattern, I think. But that's not bad news for me. I think there's quite a few ranges that I'm looking to take advantage of. Not sure how Ash is approaching the FTSE at the moment, but always got a fair idea of where it's heading, and I'm sure he can find something to chat about with us. So I think, as always, full steam ahead. We'll look to trade what we see, and as always, that will be the case.
And I haven't seen it. I know the staff have just started the new promotion where if you go to Online Trading Profits, you can tell us why you should win a month for free of your program, and we're going to pick someone out and give them a month for free of your program. Do remember to tell your listeners about it. I think it's been posted. If it hasn't been posted, it'll be posted tomorrow. But we are going to give one lucky person a chance to go to onlinetradingprofits.com. Sorry, on the Facebook page, the Facebook for Online Trading Profits, and tell us why we should give them a month of your program for free, and we'll pick someone else and give them access to you and Ash for a month.
I'm more than interested to see what the construction of that answer will be from people.
Yeah, mate. So am I.
I think that's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, mate. Should be good fun too. It'd be interesting to see what people offer, and certainly looking forward to getting someone into
who's judging the outcome of that, by the way.
Look, I think the only completely fair thing is for us to have a consensus type approach, and I make the decision.
I thought that might be the case.
Mate, you me and Ash can decide. You, me, and Ash can decide, mate. No problems at all.
Over a virtual beer at some stage.
We should have a virtual beer, mate. We really should. We really should, mate. I would love to be joining your show, but I've got an early start with the kiddies tomorrow, so I'm going to get some sleep. But as always, mate, have a good show, mate. I just keep seeing comments on your show, and all it is people laughing their heads. I don't know what you guys do, but people just seem to be loving the experience and clearly making money still, mate. That's a great thing, isn't it? Great combination.
Well, I was about to say, what could be worse than that?
Yeah,
having
mate.
Fun while you're making money.
Yeah, there are worse ways to spend a day than that, isn't there? Sorry, Chloe, jump in, please. I'm just, I don't mean to take over your show.
No worries at all. The last thing I just wanted to do was Veronica has asked a question about Singapore dollar, and if you don't mind, Veronica, can you confirm what time frame you're actually looking at? So Veronica's asked about a high test bar.
I wonder if that's it there on the 4 hour. It's a pretty bearish bar on a 4 hour chart, isn't it? Not on the hourly. I don't think it'll be the weekly. Looks like a 4 hour chart, doesn't it, Chloe? Chloe, are you still with me?
What have we done with Chloe?
Look, I don't know, but she was in the middle of this, and
sounds like she's dropped out.
Does sound like she's dropped out. I'm sure that she'll be actually. I think it's probably time for me to drop out as well, mate, because you guys are up in 10 minutes, aren't you? You start at past.
Yes, mate, we do. I better go and polish the shoes myself and make sure I'm looking dapper by the time we hit the airwaves in about 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's the most important thing. Whenever you're doing any Zoom webinar, Jeff, you've got to have shiny shoes on, mate. You can't do a Zoom webinar. People just talk. They just talk.
Yeah, look, I come from the television industry, as you know, and there wasn't a whole lot going on below the camera, below the desk, I can assure you.
Mate, I do not want to know.
And
I
actually,
do not want
I
to
can
know.
tell you some stories about a lot that actually was happening below the desk at times, but it's got nothing to do with the way we look.
Chloe's saying she got kicked out.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Look, the high TS bar for mine, the thing that it lacks for me is, look, this is here's a bar, right? And this is possibly an engulfing bar, and this is possibly an engulfing bar. But what I don't see is a high and a low. Now, if you get that movement down there to that low, I see a low, and you get up here, I see a high. But what I don't see here is any clarity around highs and lows. Where's the lower low? Where's the lower high? And for me on this time frame, I just don't, high, low, high, got it. Nah, I don't get it from there. Is that supposed to be the low? Is that supposed to be the low? Is that the low and that's the, I see, this isn't clear enough for me. So for me, this bar's out of context and I wouldn't take too much interest in it because of it being out of context. If I had a clear low down here and then pop back and saw this, I'd be really interested. But for me right now, not as interested as I could otherwise be.
Looks like it might be going into one of my favourite things there, mate, actually. I think this might be a little bit range-bound for a bit.
It'll be really interesting, mate. I think as we head into Jackson Hole from here, I think we might be seeing very little. It might just be a couple of days to, to put the queue away and let it take care of itself, because Jackson Hole is going to be pretty important. We've got Fed Friday morning, Jackson Hole Friday, Saturday. We've got the big NASDAQ share splits on Monday. No, I don't know. The market might just take a moment here, I think. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I remember it was 1995. Cheers, mate. I'll let you go. I need to get out of the show and make sure that and I'm now in the show and poor Chloe's not. I feel really bad about it. So I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to leave it to you. Enjoy your show. Say hi to Ash for me. Tell him I hope he's enjoying his holiday.
Yeah, will do, mate. Happy days.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
All right, I've got no idea who's in this room, to be fair. Hang on, I'll just scroll down and say good day to everybody. Veronica, Crystal.
Just you and me. What do you mean in the room? There's only you and me in the room, isn't there?
In this room, yeah, but I'm looking at YouTube and everybody's saying hi. And
hey, everybody, how you all doing? Look, we have a rule in the company. We are not allowed to make the next show run late, so I've got to get out of here. But hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well, and we'll be in touch reasonably soon. Been a good old-fashioned week. Take care, guys. See you later.
Right, mate. And given that I'm the next show, and Chloe, it looks like she may not be coming back, guys, I'm going to bid you adieu and recalibrate. Go and grab myself a cup of tea, and Ash and I will be on there, as I say, in about 7 minutes from now. So I'll shut this one down, and we'll look forward to having your company in about 7 minutes' time.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
See you guys.